All right, guys, let's connect. I think we'll be all right. Sorry I'm running late, but just one of those days. We're charging. We're good. We're off there. So wait till us to connect here. So, all right, guys, what do we got going on here today? I'll wait for us to connect and have a good connection, but I'll still go for the hour. I'll go to 2 o'clock. But sorry for the delay. I was a couple minutes late because of computer stuff and having to clean up some things online. You know, some people just love causing problems and causing trouble. But, you know, that's what they do. That's what people do nowadays for sure. But, yeah. So I'll talk about the spoilers of the Fear the Walking Dead premiere, Season 6, Episode 1, the last half hour, but also Season 1, Episode 2 of World Beyond. Let's talk about World Beyond, Season 1, Episode 1, the premiere. Let's talk about that a little bit too, because, you know, some people they don't like to talk about spoilers beforehand, and that's okay. I'm okay for that. I'm not here just to spoil things for people. I'm here to discuss, talk about it in a way that's there. Now, some people love to come and think of this as a spoiler channel, and they love to just spoil things and post stuff in the comments. And those people are banned and they're blocked now, you know. So we're not going to be having that stuff. We're not going to be doing that for people to mess with other people and cause problems, especially when people say like, hey, don't post spoilers in the chat, in the comments. And don't do that. So spoiler warning for the shows, Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, all that stuff. Last half hour, we'll talk about the latest episodes, but let's get into some news about The Walking Dead. So Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con was yesterday, the cyber at-home panels. Everybody is at their own computer at home, and I got to see some different things, some different material that's come out. So they were discussing The Walking Dead. They were talking, they had a Fear the Walking Dead panel, Walking Dead panel, and World Beyond panel. And so they had 3 different things. Chris Hardwick was the moderator. And you learned some things about the 6 extra episodes. You know, they didn't really get into too much detail on it, but they will talk about the Commonwealth a little bit more. They're going to talk about Maggie, Negan, Carol, Daryl, and a couple other things that are going to be interested for everybody that is going to draw in people for the 6 extra episodes, the bonus episodes. But, you know, we're not going to really divulge into different things. It's season 11, and the Commonwealth is season 11 because that's what it is. It'll probably be the ending of the series. So they're not going to take anything from there. This is going to be what it is. You know, it's one of those things for sure. But, you're right, David. He says, it's your channel. Do what you want to do. That's true. That's true. But, you know, I don't like to be thought of as a dictator or a person that has, you know, different things that just want to get rid of people for what it is. But when people cause problems and they say this and they're disrespectful to me and other people here, they have to go. We have zero tolerance for that. The world today is a crazy place. And I'm not trying to get into this whole, you know, public service announcement. But if we were nicer to people, just a little bit nicer. You don't have to be like, I'm going to give everybody $1 million, or I'm going to be the nicest person ever. I'm going to donate all my money to charity, or I'm going to do all this stuff like that. If you were just a little bit nicer, if you didn't beep at people when you were driving, if you had consideration when you were walking in a store with a shopping cart, driving, if you had any consideration for people online, I'm still of the old adage of if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. I'm still that type of person. You know, sometimes I say things that, you know, probably aren't the nicest about certain things here and there, but, you know, I'm a human being and we're all working on that. But everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's got a lot of stuff to say. And a lot of people are saying that, you know, so yeah, Jane, I saw what happened this morning, or, you know, briefly. That's why I was late today, because I saw the whole interaction with you and the other person, that the person posted spoilers in the comments multiple times, not just once. And when somebody asked, hey, please don't post spoilers, in a nice way, please don't post spoilers. Some people don't watch the episode till tonight. Not everybody watches it early. Not everybody watches The World Beyond on Thursday or Friday or Saturday. They watch it tonight. Fear the Walking Dead, you weren't able to watch it early Friday or Saturday, but you could have watched it this morning. But some people are posting all these spoilers. The stuff happened. I watched most episodes, and I will talk about the spoilers in the last half hour. And I saw that the person was saying stuff about the episode, and they were blatantly saying this happened, that happened, and that. And then the person asked, hey, please don't post spoilers in the comments. Some people don't watch it. And the person, they said, what do you mean like this? And reposted a lot of the spoilers. And they say, I will post any spoilers I want to do on here. Well, not anymore. You won't, because you're gone. You're blocked. And if that person comes back, they made a new channel, or a new account, they will be blocked as well, because that's not cool, right? Right, exactly. Like Tyler says, you shouldn't give spoilers to the people who don't want them, right? And that's okay. I think Jen, he was just saying that, like, don't give out the spoilers. for that, because not everybody wants spoilers, and I'm okay with that, right? I'm not here just to spoil stuff for people. I'm here to talk about it in a fun discussion way, but I thought it was pretty interesting to see that this morning. And when people have early access, you get to watch the stuff early, and you get to watch, the episode of The Walking Dead World Beyond. I think it comes out like Thursday night or even Thursday afternoon. I'm not sure when it actually comes out. I watched it yesterday. But people can watch it Friday or Saturday, and people can definitely have that, right? So then Fear the Walking Dead, I don't know why they didn't give that so much early access there. It's like, really, because I love the idea that Fear the Walking Dead came out this morning, but people are all about the spoilers and stuff already. You could have watched it, I think last night, you could have watched it at midnight or something, but I watched it last night. I enjoyed the episodes of Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead World Beyond, both episodes. I liked both the episodes. So all 3 episodes so far. So both premieres and The World Beyond season 1, episode 2. But Fear the Walking Dead has its moments, and it's interesting. And again, we'll talk about that in the last half hour. Not everybody wants to watch it, but let's talk about World Beyond first. Let's talk about the first episode, because I'm sure everybody has watched that by now. Don't worry, I'll talk about season 1, episode 2 in the last half hour, right? But I thought the premiere of World Beyond was good. I thought it was interesting. I was talking about this with my wife, that if they didn't have the CRM connection, it wouldn't be as interesting or as valid or as entertaining to me, and probably a lot of people, right? I just think it would be interesting for a lot of people anyway, because it's connected with The Walking Dead. But it is kind of a high school teen drama on there too. Thank you, Abe Froman. Buy your lad a beer. Thank you, Abe. I appreciate it. So I know Abe is a guy that posts stuff in the comments, and I don't know how else to say this, but pardon my French, he likes to bust your balls a little bit, and he likes to have a lot of fun and have a little playful banter back and forth. But I ultimately think he's a good person. If it's a man, I don't know. But Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago from Ferris Bueller, if anyone gets that reference, I'll definitely check it out. But I just think it's okay to have some fun with people. I do love having some playful back and forth when it's in good spirits, but it's online and it's on YouTube. So sometimes it's tough to understand the context and the emotion of things in text. I'm a fun-loving, easygoing guy for the most part, but when stuff rubs me the wrong way, then, I guess my emotion comes down to what it is. But season 1, episode 1 of The World Beyond is rubbing people the wrong way. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people thought it was boring. Some people thought it was just not much to it. But I think everybody wants a Walking Dead remake. That's not a remake, but it's an extension of that has the Walking Dead mentality of Rick, Morgan, Daryl, Carol, survivors, groups together. There's only one Rick Grimes. There's only one Daryl Dixon. There's only one Morgan Jones. There's only so many characters in The Walking Dead, and you don't want to have so many characters that are similar, like John's kind of like Rick, and certain people are like there. But I thought it was entertaining. I liked it. I liked the kids. I thought they were interesting. I thought the idea of them surviving in the zombie apocalypse, growing up in the zombie apocalypse, being in this campus colony outside of Omaha and Nebraska. And it's definitely a connecting point with season 2, where I hear Nebraska's nice. And I wonder if that's what was the plan from that, when they're like, you know what? Let's explore that a little bit. Let's explore certain areas. We find out about the Civic Republic, the CR. The CRM is the Civic Republic military. So the military branch aspect of the Civic Republic. We don't know exactly where the Civic Republic is, but I do feel like it's one of those things where we do get to see a little bit here and there. Are they giving us information? Are they not? Are they misleading us? Is the Civic Republic on the map that Iris drew, or somebody drew? Not Iris, but we're going Iris drew it. But you see Portland, Civic Republic, Omaha, Campus Colony, and then a bunch of question marks. Are we going to Nebraska? Are we going to be in Omaha? Are we going to leave Nebraska? Is the World Beyond going to connect with Fear the Walking Dead? Timelines aside, it jumps around a little bit with time, because if you think about it, if Monument Day is 10 years into the zombie apocalypse, or the Walking Dead universe, that's 10 years from the start of it. So is that already so many years ahead of Fear the Walking Dead? I think so. I think World Beyond timeline is right around season 8, maybe season 9 of The Walking Dead before Rick went away. So maybe at the end of the first season of World Beyond, it's when Rick went away. It's the same exact time point because Rick went away, and then there was a 6-year time jump on the Walking Dead. So The Walking Dead seems to be so far ahead of everything. Eventually, things can jump ahead. They can say 2 years later, 3 years later. You can play with time all over the place. But when it's not interesting enough to draw people in, if people don't care about it, then it's just not really what people are going to say. But I think people watch it and they're going to complain about it. It's not. The Walking Dead is The Walking Dead, and I like to think of it as The Walking Dead is the tree, and The World Beyond and Fear the Walking Dead and the movies and the spin-offs and Tales of the Walking Dead and whatever else they want to do, the Michonne show, the Michonne spin-off, the Here's Negan spin-off, or whatever they're going to do that way, it's all on the tree of The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead is the main, bark of it, the main, trunk of the tree, and everything else is branches, extensions of that. No one's ever going to be as good as The Walking Dead for a lot of people. But that being said, shows have their moments, they connect, and they have it for sure. Now, The World Beyond, I thought was a good start. You find out about Elizabeth Kublik, the lieutenant commander. I posted a video this morning that I probably should have posted a week ago, but I just posting other stuff and I forgot to post it. So I was like, hey, why not post it this morning? About Elizabeth Kublik possibly being a theory that she is the mother of Isabel from Fear the Walking Dead in season 5, or some people think that she could be the mother of Jadis because they're the only two women that we really have seen a connection with CRM. So it's one of the two. Maybe it's nothing, but maybe it's something that I thought was cool. Now, we like it. I know I like it when stuff matches up, stuff comes together. There's not continuity errors. There's stuff that is kind of building and building and building, and we like this stuff to come together where our groups mean this, and this is that, and this one's that, and this is connected to this show, and that's connected to this, and it all comes together in a nice, pretty package with a nice, pretty bow on top, right? But that being said, you have 3 different showrunners, but even though Robert Kirkman and Gimple are connected with all 3 shows, there should be some global glue that binds them, and that should be CRM, I believe, too. So yeah. I mean, Alexander, you don't have to believe it. It may happen or not. It's just a theory. It's just a discussing point. I do think it would make sense if they were going to go that route, that Elizabeth connects with, Isabel, because that's an easy way to connect too. So it's pretty interesting for sure. So Zazman Reviews, thank you for the super chat. Tales of the Walking Dead has endless possibilities. That's true. It really does, right? So if you think about Tales of the Walking Dead, that can be Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, Walking Dead, something else, new characters, old characters, spin-off characters, So I don't know if it's going to be, we're going to see the Abraham-Daniel connection in Texas. We're going to see some sort of way with Madison. I know a lot of people would love that. We're going to see the Negan. I would love to see a multiple episode spinoff of Negan. Here's Negan. That's the origin story of Negan. So that would be pretty cool if that's what happened. I don't know if that's what their plan is. I feel like they still want to have Walking Dead, but Tales of the Walking Dead and all these other shows, you can make them with less characters, less cast, less people, less everything, less sets, less locations, less money involved, less budget, right? So Tales of the Walking Dead is a nice spinoff, and you're right, it can be endless. You can have Tales of the Walking Dead for years, or it can be there, especially if 2 million, 3 million people watch it. That'd be pretty cool too. So, but thank you, Abe Froman, again for another super chat, and thank you, Zazman Reviews, as well too. So, yeah. Mark says missing a bowl cut and an accent. Yeah, I mean, I think that Elizabeth Kublik, that could be that how she talks, but what if Isabel was raised here, And I think Elizabeth Kublik the actress is actually British, so I think she's not acting as her accent. I think that's kind of the more how she actually talks, and they didn't actually make her change her accent. So I don't know if that's what it is, but we'll have to see where we go too. So Vortex Swift on YouTube. Who do you think is the masked person? I predict it is Maggie's son. So I think it's a new character. I don't think it's Mercer. I don't think it's Maggie's son. I don't think it's Dwayne. I don't think it's anybody that we've met before. I think it's somebody that we're going to meet that's supposed to replace Jesus and Michonne on the show. I think they're going to be a badass fighter. They're going to be a person that fights, kicks, knows karate, knows weapons, can teach people how to do things. But I don't know why they're there. Because if you know the Commonwealth, in the comics at least, there's no more big battles. There's no more big wars. There's no more big aspects of anything. I mean, there kind of was with Sherry running the Saviors, but that can't happen on the show because Sherry's on another, Fear the Walking Dead. So Sherry is not going to be there. The Saviors are gone, so that doesn't make sense either. Is it going to be like, is Maggie going to sick the masked fighter on Negan? I don't know. We're going to see. They talked about some pretty good information at the New York Comic Con panels. They talked about that Negan and Maggie will definitely have an interaction. We're going to see what's going to be involved with them, hopefully in the 6 extra episodes. Daryl and Carol, can't wait to see how that goes. There should be some stuff for Ezekiel and that group and the Commonwealth. So I think the Commonwealth will be explored in the 6 extra episodes, definitely in season 11. I don't know what the actual plan is, how they're going to do it. They also said that Pamela Milton, Mercer, and Sebastian Milton haven't been cast yet. So if they're not cast yet and they're already filming the 6 extra episodes for season 10, those 3 won't be in the 6 extra episodes, and I don't think they will. I think they'll be in the season 11. But no one said or asked or that I saw about Lance. Now, if you know the comics, you know that Lance is really the first person that we meet from the Commonwealth, besides the soldiers, of course. But Lance is a character we could see in the 6 extra episodes. I'm not saying we will, but we could. They will explore a lot of different things. And, of course, Daryl, Carol, Maggie will be involved most likely for that, too. So Gary Page asks, does Maggie know where Rick is? That remains to be seen. I don't think so. I think the only people that know where Rick is Scott Gimple, maybe Andrew Lincoln, probably Andrew Lincoln, probably Jadis, Ann, whatever you want to call her, and the other people connected with that show, and some people from the world beyond, like Nico Tortorella, who plays Felix. In an interview, he said that he knows where Rick Grimes is. He can't tell you why, can't tell you how, can't tell you where, can't tell you when, can't tell you anything, but he knows about it. So if people from the world beyond know where Rick is, I would assume it's safe to say that the world beyond has a great chance of connecting with the Rick movies. It just makes sense too. So Yenzi asked, hey Bri, what do you think Maggie's reaction is going to be when she sees Negan? I think it's going to be dicey. I think that it's going to be something that Maggie... I think she sicks the masked fighter on him. And then somebody comes to save Negan. Maybe it's Lydia. Maybe it's Daryl. I don't know who's all going to be involved with the show, with the 6 extra episodes, besides the main people. Because with COVID-19, you have to cut down the amount of people around there, too. You have to cut down all these cast and crew and all the people that do stuff. I would assume they cut down a lot of things. You're not going to have a show that has, 25, 30, 50 extras in it. There's probably going to be minimal to no walkers. There's going to probably be minimal extras in it. It'll probably be the same extras there. They're probably going to rebuild Hilltop a little bit too. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's interesting to see where it's going to go, and I'm kind of excited for it. It'll probably air late February at the earliest, if not March. It'll probably be the first episode of it too. So Joey Soap says, do you watch any of the other Walking Dead YouTube channels? I don't watch any other YouTube channels for a variety of reasons. Some of them do stuff that I don't agree with. They bring up topics and say stuff in there that I don't like. And also, I don't want to be accused of say that I stole stuff from other channels. If I don't watch their stuff, I don't know what they talk about. Now, people here can talk about a lot of stuff that they see from other channels, and I urge you, and I recommend you to subscribe to other channels, like other channels, do everything for other channels. Support them if you like them. Because you can like my channel, this channel, that channel. You can like all the Walking Dead channels. And you should if you like them. I'm not saying you have to only like my channel. But I'm not going to go to those channels and bring up some stuff there too. So I don't know who said it, where it came from, whatever there too. I don't know if the person was for real or what is. Because I couldn't find the article or anything. I looked briefly about it. That somebody is saying that the masked fighter is a clone of Glenn. Now... this isn't Star Wars. We don't have a clone army. We don't have clones. We don't have the Clone Wars here. This isn't that. Even though people are calling the Commonwealth soldiers stormtroopers. And I made a funny video a couple of days ago where I talk about that I'm going to probably post tomorrow, that it literally says stormtroopers question mark. And it says like, well, they're designed after, Charlie Adlard's art. And so it just, makes sense to have it replicated on the show. And I think they did a pretty good job. And people who don't read the comic think of them as stormtroopers, even though they're not. And, we discuss it a little bit in the video. And, it's one of those things where I just don't know where it's going to go for the final season, if it's going to be exactly like the comics. But I do think it's going to be interesting to see the Commonwealth. I think it's a good ending point. Is the Commonwealth going to be more villains than anything? I don't think so. I don't know what they're going to do. I do like the idea that I made another video. Let me see. I got like at least 3 videos that I have yet to post. Plus I'll do my reviews later today. I'll post those and a couple things where I talk about the Commonwealth and CRM. And I thought it was a great question to bring up. So my poll question is, who has the better armor, uniforms, outfit, whatever you want to call it? Who looks cooler? CRM, the people in black with the helmets and the guns and the spears on there, the bayonets on there, or the Commonwealth soldiers? Which soldiers are cooler? CRM or the Commonwealth? Just based on looks, not who's good, who's bad, who do you like, who looks cooler in your mind? CRM, who's in all black, or the Commonwealth, who's basically in all white? Who do you like better? So I enjoyed The World Beyond, and I have enjoyed it. I enjoyed the second episode as well, but it's not going to do anything for the people who don't like the show, people who are on the fence about it. They're not going to draw anybody in the second episode, right? They're not going to be like, oh man, that's great now. I could see that. I don't know what people are expecting from that episode, from that show, besides another aspect of the zombie apocalypse or the Walking Dead universe. That's not going to be Rick and Daryl and Carol and this and that and whatever on there too. But I do like the angle that they're doing with Elizabeth Kublek, Hope and Iris. I do like the kids. I like Hope, Iris, Elton, and Silas. I like those kids. They're not annoying. They're teenage kids. They're living in a zombie apocalypse. And who hasn't been? We may have teenagers in here right now. I know I haven't been a teenager in a while. But ultimately, if you were a teenager, there was a lot of things. You wanted to get out and about. You wanted to see the world, the state, the area. You wanted to go explore. And that's what they're doing. It doesn't make any difference if it's a zombie apocalypse or a regular everyday world situation. Kids, people want to get out and about. They're tired of living in this caged environment, whether it's actually safe or not. They don't care. They feel like they're fearless. They can take over the world. They can do a lot of things. Even though these kids haven't really interacted with empties, which it's like crazy to think how many different names do the Walking Dead people call zombies? Except for zombies. They call them walkers, empties. I don't even know. Like, what do they call it? Like, I'm blanking what it is. Like so many other names. Biters. They've had so many different names for these things, for these walkers, besides zombies. It's just crazy. And I do think that the show is interesting, and that's what I like to see. I like to watch interesting stuff about rotters. Yeah, I mean, people have a million different names besides zombies. So also yesterday, my wife and I, we watched, if you have Netflix, it's called Hubie Halloween. It's an Adam Sandler Halloween movie. It's made by Happy Madison Productions, Adam Sandler's. I don't know how many more movies he has on his contract with Netflix. But geeks. Yeah, exactly. So I thought Hubie Halloween was funny. It was good. If you know Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison, if you know those movies, you'll appreciate the little Easter eggs and the callbacks for that stuff. But Hubie Halloween is funny. It's interesting. It's kind of pretty cool. I like it. If you have Netflix, definitely check it out. It's a different movie. It's an hour and 45 minutes or whatever. Also, if you haven't seen The Boys yet, the first season I think is better than the second season for a couple things, but the second season, it's done. I'll do my overall review of the season, but I liked it. It was pretty good. Also, that's on Amazon. Another show that I recommend on Amazon is Utopia. and that is a pandemic show. It's kind of a terrible time for the show to come out, but it's based on, I guess, graphic novels or something. But it's interesting because I do like the idea of the pandemic kind of thing in theory. I don't know if some people are going to take it literally, but I do think it's an interesting topic. So Utopia is interesting. There's a lot of good actors in that. John Cusack's in it, Rainn Wilson's in it, and others, and it's interesting. And but it's about a pandemic and it's fictional, so don't read too much into it. Thank you, Abe Froman, killing it in the super chats today. Hey Darlene, how we doing? So recent stuff about New York Comic Con is they talked about World Beyond a little bit, and they talked about Joe Holt, who plays Dr. Leo Bennett, that he seems to be like, we haven't really seen him yet besides flashbacks, and he's not in the second episode, so we don't see him either there of the World Beyond, but he's a game-changing person that Felix even said he's probably the smartest person alive left on the planet that they know of, so it was pretty cool to see that. I like that. And Joe Holt plays Dr. Leo Bennett, that we'll see him, and he's a game-changing person. So will we see him on the show and the movies, and he may connect some big things down the road for the end game of the Walking Dead movies and shows and universe of how it's actually done too. So we'll see. But I really hope that we do get a big epic battle with Commonwealth CRM, and I made another video about that. That's another video that I got to post, that it really needs to happen. We need a Marvel Cinematic Endgame, Infinity War, big, huge calamity motion stuff that's put in place forever. And I would love to see those two communities go at each other. And our group kind of helps things up too. So Mike Allen says, Bri, I was there. Where were you, Mike? What in reference to... I'm sorry, those soldiers in season 3 were jokes. But yeah, so what do you mean you were there? Let me know, Mike, in the comments. But yeah, so I know people are just posting there too. So yeah, there's a lot of things. They call him a lot of different names too. Krista liked Hubie Halloween. I thought it was great as well. I thought it was funny. It was one of his better movies. Jonathan Wilder, is that a real question? Will we ever see Ghost Glenn? I don't think so. I don't think Stephen Yeun wants to be back on The Walking Dead. He's done several movies, several things since then. Yenzi asks, do you think Morgan will ever mention anyone's name from The Walking Dead? I hope so. I mean, it's kind of crazy that he never said Rick Grimes. There's stuff that it's kind of bothered me. It's like, say the person's name, say how it goes, right? Say who we know, People that watch Fear the Walking Dead or World Beyond know The Walking Dead. I doubt anyone's watching World Beyond who's never seen Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead. Everyone's ever seen those other shows besides watching The Walking Dead, too. So, also another thing that I thought was good information was that Angela Kang said that Christian Serratos, who plays Rosita Espinosa on The Walking Dead, will not be in the 6 extra episodes because of what she's doing for the Netflix show Selena. That's the singer, the Mexican singer, Selena. It's there was a movie with J-Lo about it and stuff, and there's a show that's coming out. So I know that's coming up too. So she's not going to be in those. I would assume we'll see Eugene and Ezekiel, Princess, and Yumiko and the Commonwealth soldiers. We'll probably see Daryl, Carol, Negan, maybe Aaron, maybe Father Gabriel, maybe a couple there. And it looks to be more focused on, more deep dives, they call it, into it. So they go farther into the character development of certain characters, but less of them too. So if it's 6 episodes, you may see 2 or 3 characters in each episode. So we'll see what their actual plan is. But I know they're filming, and I believe the plan for them is to film most of the stuff in a controlled environment that's at their studio. So if they're not out and about, they probably won't be, you won't be able to see much filming. But I know that Daryl's in town. I just call them by their character name. Daryl's in town. Maggie's in town. Father Gabriel's in town. Looked like Ezekiel was in town based on where their phones are. Princess may be in town too. So by the panels that you could see, I actually shared it on YouTube or on Facebook from YouTube. But you can see the panel. I know the one Walking Dead panel is like 28 minutes. and they give a lot of it for sure too. So Lincoln K says, bro, what can we as a fan do to make you as happy with your page? I don't know. I mean, just be a supporter. I mean, I don't know. Just be a part of it. Just contribute to anything we share. Just be involved. You know, that's the biggest thing. I don't know. I don't know how to be. I'm happy with everything so far. You know, I don't mind, you know, blocking people if they're out of line. So I think we have a great amount of people here on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on everything. So I think it's a good amount of things. People are giving me crap about promoting my books and everything on there too. And like, a 4, 5, 6 minute long video, and I talk about a minute on my stuff. They're like seconds. You know, I talk about the thing and then I go into the subscriber stuff. I talk about the Patreon, the membership program, the books on there as well. And maybe it's a minute altogether from start of that before we get to the stuff. But, you know, I'm going to cut it down a little bit. I'll still promote stuff here and there, but I'm going to cut it down just because, you know, I do think it's a little much because it's in enough videos. People should know how to do it, but it doesn't mean I'm going to stop. I'll just cut it down a little bit here and there. So, you know, it'll be one less thing people complain about. The one thing I have seen being on YouTube for, you know, 5 years, over 5 years, is that everyone loves to complain, voice their opinion, show, you know, they not everybody, I should say, people love to talk online, whether they're complaining, supporting, loving, hating, trolling, whatever, it's okay. And, you know, I always put myself in the shoes of the viewer. And I know some people aren't going to support the channel. They're not going to support the book series. They're not going to buy the book series. They're not going to be a Patreon member. They're not going to be a subscriber. They're not going to be a member. They're not going to do all those things. And that's okay. And maybe that's a small amount of people, or maybe it's a large amount of people. But at the end of the day, I can't make everybody happy, and I'm not going to make everybody happy. And the Walking Dead universe doesn't make everybody happy. Some people love the finale. Some people hated the finale. Some people love the way Beta did. Some people hated it. Some people love the World Beyond. Some people hate that, right? And so you just really can't make everybody happy. The true thing is you need to make yourself happy. And if you're happy with the videos and the stuff you put out, then that's the name of the game. And hopefully you'll get supporters for sure. But, you know, I do take things in stride from what people say. And there is constructive criticism. There's a lot of criticism. There's also support. There's a lot of love, some hate, some respect, some disrespect, some outpouring, and it's all right. It's all, at the end of the day, we post daily videos like today. I posted a video this morning, going to post my live stream, and probably going to post both of my reviews that I already did. I'm definitely going to post at least one of the reviews. I'll have Fear the Walking Dead. So some people also didn't know, and then we'll get into spoiler territory, okay? So Fear the Walking Dead is first, I believe, and then World Beyond, and then Talking Dead. So some people weren't sure what's coming back. Some people in some of the groups that I'm on Facebook, they don't know what's happening with The Walking Dead World Beyond and Fear the Walking Dead, and the show came back and it's not coming, and the 6 extra episodes aren't coming back until next year. So some people still aren't sure. So Alexander Romero, will the Commonwealth interrogate the survivors in some way like Deanna did in Alexandria? I think so. I think that's what's going to be Lance's role. So it's pretty cool. Thank you, Mary and Lincoln, for the support. And yeah, I know it's my channel and I appreciate that. And it's true. I could do what I want and do all that stuff too. And I do for the most part, but I do take things in stride too, right? I do think everything. Brian81 says, shout out to my son, Marshall, and my wife. Yeah, shout it out. Shout, let it on out. But so let's get into spoiler territory, guys. You know, we'll talk about the last, 27, 28, 30 minutes. We'll talk about some spoilers. So spoiler warning. So overall, guys, let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead, right? So let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 1. Thank you, Darlene. Thank you. You rock. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being you, Darlene. I appreciate it. And that's what it's all about. We're here for the supporters and the people who like the channel, not the haters. And I comment about them. I talk about them because I'm just, being a real 100% human being. But, I know some people don't want to hear, negativity. They come here for education, entertainment, and excitement. That's the 3 E's I came up with. People come on YouTube for entertainment, excitement, and education. So But ultimately, guys, Fear the Walking Dead, let's get into it. Spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler warning. Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 1 it's a good episode. It's interesting, it's entertaining, and it's a good way to start the episode, or start the season. That being said, we only see Morgan, Ginny, we meet a new character, Isaac, we meet a new Isaac's wife, and the headhunter, which I'm not sure who. I think we get the headhunter's name, but it happens fast. But Isaac is I like Isaac. I like the headhunter. I like the new characters, but unfortunately, they're only in the one episode because they die. So it starts with this guy spray painting on something. The end. And we find out later on that the guy is with another guy, and they're in Galveston, Texas, or right around Galveston, Texas. And they spray paint the end is the beginning, for some reason, on the bottom of a submarine that's on land. The water went away, or the water levels dropped, or something. So, so the video may turn into, the live stream may turn into a podcast. As long as we got the audio, you can hear the audio. This is kind of what happens. We're pretty good for like 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and then the video kind of gets laggy and slow. But so we're getting there. So as long as the audio is okay, it'll turn more into a podcast. But overall, you get to see Morgan right away. And I don't know what the reviewer was talking about way back when they got early access to the reviewers. The reviewers got the break. They got the screeners for season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. But Morgan is in the entire episode. It's a Morgan episode. Morgan's the main character in this episode. You see Morgan, he's not doing well. He's got the bloodshot eyes, he's in a limousine, and he's just not doing well at all. It turns out that we find out that he was on his own. He was saved by somebody. We don't know who the person was. We find out that somebody helped Morgan. We don't know who it was. But Morgan's been doing this for 5 to 6 weeks. So there's a time jump of at least 5 to 6 weeks, right? So, yeah, Mark says, right at the time Bryce said spoilers, it starts dragging. Coincidence? Yeah, I don't know, right? It's funny, right? So, Morgan, the one thing about it, though, is that it's so over the top, inconsistent with what Morgan is. Morgan can barely walk. He falls. He can barely get up. He's not doing well. He has gangrene. He's still got the bullet in his chest. He's got gangrene, necrotic tissue around there that needs to be, taken out. He needs to be, cleaned up and debrided, and the bullet needs to come out. Isaac does that later on in the episode, but Morgan is dying. He's got the bloody eyes. He's not doing well too. But Morgan is in a limousine. There's 4 patrol people that go by from Ginny. They don't even check in the limousine, which was terrible, I don't know, watching by the Rangers of Ginny's Rangers. But either way, Morgan he's walking down the highway, down the road. He goes up to a cleaned out water tower that has no water in it, but he's living inside of it. And he's got mattresses all over the place. He's got a bunch of stuff. He's got a bunch of everything on there. And he goes out to get more stuff. So he climbs down the ladder and does whatever. And he's got one arm. He's kind of like, bracing his arm. He's not doing well. But basically he's got one good arm. And so they're going to use that and play that up. So he goes into town. He comes across the cop car. Call back to Rick. He finds a gun that's empty. He's got no bullets. The magazine has no bullets. He looks into a store. There's a crib with a little, I don't know what it is, but it spins around and the baby looks at it. It has a name, but it's got horses on it. Reminds me a lot of Rick. Reminds me a lot of season 3 when Morgan came back around and Carl was like, we got to get a crib for the baby and Judith and this and that. It reminds me a lot of that stuff. Morgan, also before that, sorry, I apologize, I messed up. Morgan smells like he's dying, necrotic gangrene tissue. He smells like death. So that's why the walkers don't bite him. They aren't attracted to him. They come up to him, I guess smell him, and be like, yeah, he's dead. And they keep walking. A walker comes right up to him. He doesn't do anything. But Morgan makes noise, and the walker comes back. So the noise attracts him. He takes out a walker and he's like, oh, he barely gets up and he's not doing so well. He goes into town. That's when he comes out the limo. I apologize for that. I jumped around a little bit. But also, Morgan goes into town, sees there, and walkers come around. He falls down and trips somehow, laying on the ground. The walkers come over to him, and they smell him, and they're like, yeah, he's dead. So then they keep walking around. The new character, Isaac, comes around. Yeah, I guess, Mike, it's the thing that hangs above the crib, and the babies look at it, and I guess it's a carousel. I don't know. But so the walkers don't want to, they don't want to bite Morgan. So Isaac comes out of nowhere and he kills the walkers and he says, I never saw that before, right? So, and they go into the place with the crib, and I guess before that, I'm jumping around a little bit as it's coming to me. The headhunter is, told to get Morgan Jones by Ginny over the radio. The headhunter kills a previous guy, Walter, who was a client or a bounty, and the guy comes right to him. He has a key around his neck. Walter gets killed by the headhunter. He puts the head in the box. There's a key that turns out to be a connecting point with the submarine that we don't see how it connects, but he has that too. So, Shadow, do you know what happens to the dog in the episode? I think the dog is with Morgan at the end of the episode. I think Rufus is the dog's name too. Lincoln says, do you think that the others in the group cared enough when Morgan went missing? Do you feel that they could have done more? Blood poisoning from the wound? Yeah, the group's scattered. We don't see anybody else in the episode. We just see Morgan, and I kind of do feel like they could have done a little bit more, but they don't. Either way, the headhunter keeps following. Krista says it's a mobile. Yeah, I guess it's a mobile. It's the thing it's above. Yeah, I think it's what it's called. Thank you, Krista. I was blanking on what it is. But so Rufus is the dog, and he has a smell and a scent of, Morgan somehow. I don't know how. But either way, Isaac is inside talking to Morgan. The headhunter comes over and he goes, hey, are you in there? I hear you in there. So Isaac goes out, and then the headhunter has the picture of baby Morgan. It's kind of funny. And he's like, yeah, no, whatever. But Morgan's inside, and he somehow gets out and goes out behind the shop and then falls to the ground later on. But the headhunter is destroying cabinets that he thinks Morgan is in there. And he says to Isaac, do I know you? Because the headhunter knows Ginny, and it turns out that Isaac is one of Ginny's rangers. And Isaac has a wife. Isaac's wife is pregnant. She's about to give birth any day now. She actually gives birth at the end of the episode. And Isaac left Ginny. Isaac watched the videos and knew about Morgan and Alicia and John and June and everybody on the tapes. And he found out that, hey, I got to, hopefully somehow connect with Morgan. So Morgan and Isaac come away, and Isaac tries to help him, and he doesn't. And Morgan has a gun, but Isaac has 2 bullets. And the headhunter, they go back to the water tower. The headhunter comes back, and he finds him in the water tower, pulls it down, rips it down. Isaac and Morgan are inside the water tower. It breaks open. There's kind of a interaction with it. Morgan takes the gun. He has 2 bullets in there. He's aiming right at the headhunter. He could shoot him, but he shoots him in the arm. Isaac and Morgan get in the headhunter's truck, and they drive away, which is like, all right. It turns out that Isaac and his wife, they're in the dam that has no water in it. The water went away. The tide, it broke open, and all the water went away. I don't know what happened to it, but either way, there's a city, a town in there that's remains in there. And Morgan, before that, we saw the clip where Morgan and the walkers come right up to him, and he's like immune, and he's got the backpack, and it's the oxygen thing in there, and he's got the backpack and this, and we're wondering, what's going on with this? Why is this there? But Morgan still smells like gangrene and death and everything on there too. So he walks around, he falls again, he gets up, and he's like, I'm right here. He's struggling, he's not doing well. He stands up, he's got his bow staff, his stick, starts taking out walkers. Isaac comes down with the gun, shoots a walker that was about to bite Morgan. He saves him. Isaac takes out a bunch of walkers with like the super small knife. Morgan somehow, again, he's dying. He's not doing well. He can barely stand up. Gets a surge of adrenaline or something and takes out like 25 walkers or something. It's crazy. He fights all these walkers. Somehow they go into there. They make it out of it. They go through the dam. They meet the wife. The wife gives birth. Isaac, their headhunter, finds them, of course. The headhunter and Morgan fight. And the headhunter has this awesome axe, by the way. And he takes people's heads off with it. Walkers, people, everything. It's pretty clean and precise cut. It's pretty awesome. And so Morgan's like, look, I'll go. I don't care. Let these people go, and I'm okay, right? Too. So Christian says, what do you think about Fear the Walking Dead Season 6? Do you think it's going to be good or not? I hope it's good. I thought the first episode was pretty good. I thought it was interesting. It's just over-the-top stuff. There's parts where Morgan is struggling to walk, stand, just be upright. And there's other times it's the same Morgan. He doesn't have any, care or treatment or drugs or the bullets removed or anything, and he takes out a bunch of walkers. The same thing, he's about to get his head chopped off by the headhunter. Isaac comes in, fights him, and the headhunter is then fighting Morgan, who stands up. He's got his stick, and he's like, boom, 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 hitting him a bunch of times, knocks down the headhunter. Isaac gets up, and Isaac, we find out that that he was bit days ago, and he's still alive. And the headhunter they get up, and they fight. Morgan ends up stabbing the headhunter with his broken bow staff. And he looks up and he sees the axe. He gets up, picks the axe up, chops off the headhunter's head, and then passes out. Morgan wakes up. His wound is patched up. It's debrided. It's cleaned up. The gangrene is all taken out. The bullet's out. But then turns out that Isaac died. I don't know how long Morgan was out. The baby was born. It was a girl. They named it Morgan after Morgan. So Morgan lives. Morgan gets patched up. His eyes aren't red anymore. He's wearing the headhunter's hat and jacket. He's on a horse. And we don't know what happens to Rufus the dog, but I'm guessing he's with him. We'll have to see. Before that, Ginny goes. There's a barricade of walkers that Morgan put in the road. There's a box that says Morgan Jones on it. That's supposed to be the headhunter's box with his head in it. Ginny goes over to it, looks at it. It's the headhunter's head. She starts laughing. She starts freaking out. She gets on the radio and says, if you're hearing this, you're in trouble. It doesn't matter. People aren't going to know you're alive or not. Morgan says, well, Morgan Jones is dead. I guess meaning that the past is dead. The way he used to do things is dead. He's a new character. He's reborn. He's this. Not sure. There's got to be an epic showdown with them. And then Ginny gets back in the MRAP, the SWAT truck. And then I guess they leave with her other Rangers. Morgan rides the horse and goes somewhere. We don't know. And then the end, I told you with the submarine that's on land. The guy's drawing the end is the beginning. The craziest thing ever, though, is that the guy kills a walker with a can of spray paint. He's like, hits him like 3 times. The walker falls down. Those are the guys that are waiting for the key. Walter's key, the headhunter, I guess belongs to the submarine that's on land. And it's what happens there. And it's the end is the beginning written on the bottom of the submarine. Not sure why that's there. And then it ends. So overall, it's a pretty good episode. It's entertaining. It's over the top. It's just like not sure how Morgan has the inability to walk, stand, be there, but then a surge of adrenaline and the ability to just take out 25 walkers. And he literally holds his broken bow staff up and blocks the heavy axe, and it doesn't move. He's protecting himself, and it's just crazy that the headhunter wouldn't have more strength than Morgan, and the axe would have went through it and actually got to Morgan. But, it's what it is. So, overall, it's entertaining. We get to see what happened to Morgan. Morgan survives. Morgan lives. Morgan doesn't die. We know that. And that's really the whole episode. You don't see John, June, Althea, Dwight, anybody like that. It's kind of what it is. But Morgan is a superhero. He's kind of got the plot armor, and so he's safe. That being said, the last 10 minutes, guys, I'll talk about The Walking Dead World Beyond. Season 1, Episode 2. It picks up basically where it left off. with Iris trying to take out the walker, the lone walker that it ended with. She struggles mightily. She doesn't actually kill the brain with the Triceratop horn. She hits it in the neck, hits it in the leg, hits it over here. And at the same time, it's a flashback to when, Felix was teaching the kids how to survive, the survival class. That you want to go for the brain. Going through the eye socket is the best. If worst case, you don't want to tire yourself out. If you can, sweep the leg, take out the leg, put them down, knock the walker down, get away from them, evade them. The best thing to do is not get tired. Don't do that. But she struggles. They ends up falling over into a ravine, a ditch, whatever you want to call it. The walker is a female walker. She's like on this stick with spikes, and she's like, and she's looking at it. Iris is safe. The other 3 kids come over, and this is in the trailer when Iris pukes on she's like about to stab the walker, and then she pukes on it, and she's like, yeah, that's what you get. Kind of funny. It's kind of funny. And then, so Huck and Felix are going after the kids, and Hope, Iris, Elton, and Silas are trying to walk away. And it's funny because Felix and Huck, whatever they say is wrong. They come across the same walker that that she almost died, that Iris didn't take it. They don't kill the walker, by the way. Felix and Huck, they don't kill the walker that's trapped. It's not going anywhere. And Iris and the kids don't take out the walker either, which kind of bothered me. But they say like, yeah, when I see Hope, she's in such trouble. But Hope isn't the one going out. It's Iris. I mean, they both are, but Iris is kind of doing things, right? And they're like, yeah, they eat a can of peaches that has the logo on it, the 3-ring logo. And they put the can down, and Hope puts it there on purpose so Felix and Huck know where they went. They know their trail, where they've confined them. But Huck's like, yeah, they should really not leave their tracks. They should not have this out. But Hope's doing it on purpose, and it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of flashbacks for Felix in this episode. Carlos from Philly up in here. Sweep the leg, Johnny. Sweep the leg. Yep, Cobra Kai. But Felix, we knew from the first episode that he's gay. And we see the flashback when his dad, who's a loser, just not a nice guy, we'll just say that. He was using Felix's computer before the apocalypse, before the zombies, and he found emails that he found out that Felix was gay. And he doesn't like that, and he kicks Felix out of the house, and it's not a good scene. It's not nice. But I mean, it's a good scene, but not in a good scene. It's not a good way. The father is, kicking the son out because he doesn't agree with his sexuality, and it's a whole terrible thing. Felix turns out that he was, in the trailer, he's actually the guy running with a sweatshirt on that says Nebraska State University. It's like at the start of the zombie apocalypse, and the F-16s fly over. I'm not sure if they are F-16s. I just know the fighter jets fly over, and this is at the start of it. And you see younger Felix, go back to his house, and he knocks on the door, and the dad's like, "Get out of here. We don't want you here." And Felix is like trying to save his parents. He's like, "I can get you somewhere safe, and I can do this." Turns out that Felix's parents died, and they're in the house still. And then he went back there, and it has to be around the same street where the kids are. It's the same location, same area where the kids left the campus colony, and they're going to wherever they're going, right? So I think that's pretty interesting. It's a little far-fetched, but ultimately Felix goes back to the house at night. Huck is sleeping. He leaves. Felix can't sleep. He's up, and Huck is sleeping in some garage, and Felix leaves, and he goes back to the house. And you don't see him kill his Walker parents, but I think he went there to do it. I don't know if he did or not, but he went there to do it. And it's kind of interesting that if those people have been walkers for 10 years, walkers can live for over 10 years with no nutrition, no feeding, no anything. I don't know. So, but either way, we do that. The kids, they find a bowling ball. They call it Big Mo. And nothing really happens in the episode. They continue their journey on. They come across a place they call it the Blaze of Gory. And that's the name of the episode, I believe. A Blaze of Gory. Instead of Blaze of Glory, Blaze of Gory. and there's a fire that's burning forever, and there's tires and there's buses and there's everything in there, and there's fire and smoke and debris. It's still burning. And they say that the tires can burn for years. And I guess it could, but either way, that's what they come across. Are they going to go around or are they going to go through it? If they go around, they got to go 60 miles out of the way, and Iris doesn't want to do that, so they go there. But they continue walking on. Day turns to night. They find a house that has a treehouse. They end up staying in the treehouse. Reminds me a lot of Stand By Me. Very much so. Treehouse, kids, journey, voyage, treehouse. The walker, sorry, I skipped this. They come in across two other walkers. There's a walker that they come across. It's sitting on a bench. You're like, what is that? Is that an empty? Yeah, and it turns and all these bees fly out of it. It's pretty awesome. Pretty terrible and pretty awesome, the same thing too, right? So I know that they run away from it. No one gets stung or anything. They run away from it. And this other walker comes around. And Elton has a can of spray paint, and he decides to spray paint the walker because of the migration thing. He can continue the research that the one person was doing because that's what they were doing with the paint. They go away from it. The same walker is coming there, comes to the treehouse that the kids are in. I mean, what are the odds of that? They don't know what to do. Sorry, there's a couple things here. Some people like the show. They're like, Alexa says, am I the only one who thinks that this series is garbage 10 years in and these stupid teenagers don't know how to kill a damn walker? Well, yeah, I mean, they haven't been around it. And that's one thing I did bring up, that if Felix was teaching these kids how to take out empties, how come they didn't actually do it in a controlled environment where they had a S-pole or something to kill a walker? Actually kill the walker, not run things. But either way, the kids are in a treehouse. The walker that's orange paint, spray painted is at the bottom. It looks up, and they're like, we got to drop something on it. We got to drop something on it. And they're like, let's use Big Mo. So they drop a bowling ball on it. It kind of like puts a big dent in the face. Doesn't kill the walker, though. The walker's still down there. And before that, Silas, who has the big wrench, couldn't kill the walker that's orange spray painted. And I'm like, yeah, I can see why they did it, why they didn't. And they got to explore his backstory a little bit more. Like, what did he actually do in Omaha? Maybe he used violence and he doesn't want to do that yet, but even though he should against the walkers. So either way, Hope goes down in the middle of the night, which isn't smart because it's dark out. She attracts the walker to a swimming pool. She falls down. The walker falls into the swimming pool. The walker tries to grab Hope. Hope kicks the walker, gets out, goes back upstairs. Silas is like, did you get rid of the walker? She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, thanks if you did. So Hope is, kind of the rebel without a cause type of character. A little different than Hope, Iris. They're different. We'll see where they end up with each other. But Hope could be Hope. Hope could change. Iris could change. They all could change. Elton has his nice moments. I do like Elton. He's the geeky guy that Hope actually killed his mother. And he talks about his mom a lot. He talks about dinosaurs. The end of civilization being called endlings. But there should be people younger than them, even though the last person is called an endling. But I could see what they're saying. They feel like they're going to be the last generation, the last group to survive. So they call themselves the endlings. They get to the blaze of glory, which they call the blaze of glory, and it's a bunch of fires, a bunch of smoke, a bunch of debris. Excuse me. And they come across it. It's so dramatic. It's over the top, and nothing happens. They come to a bus. They're like, where's the fence? I don't see the fence. I don't see it. Where is it? Go, 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 go. Oh, here they come. Okay, go, 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 go. Okay, good. The smoke, the debris, the fog, the fire, the rubber, everything, it would sting. It would burn. You have to cover your face. You can't just breathe that in. That's what happens. Firefighters and stuff, they have smoke inhalation. People can die from that. Then they get out and like, we made it. And they get to a spot and it's even worse than what they came through. They're like, we didn't make through anything. We got through the spot. And that's where the big fire is. There's pictures of it and it's in the trailer and stuff. Elton gets to the point and says, here's a crazy idea, but there's a hurricane siren. Someone can get over a manual hurricane siren. If someone goes over to it, they can attract a lot of the walkers. But then the person doesn't know how to get to it and whatever. So Day turns to night again. Hope sees that Silas has a radio. She takes it and she leaves, and you see that she's going and she puts a mask over her face, which is like about time, right? The fire, the craziness, the smoke, the tires burning. She's going to be the one to go do the siren, and then it ends. That's the end of the episode. So not a lot happened. A lot of it was interesting. Some of it was entertaining. You see the backstory of Felix and Huck, and you get to see a little bit more of their stuff, and you find out Felix and this. No CRM. No more about Elizabeth Kublik. No more stuff that way. That'll be next week's episode. We'll find out more about CRM that probably took over the campus colony, and there's some problems there that we'll get into next week. But overall, the episode was entertaining. It was interesting. Both of them were. I don't think it did any favors for people that were on the fence about it. It wasn't like, wow, I really like this episode now. It's more of the same from the first episode. If you like the first episode, you'll probably like the second episode. It's less involved with CRM and everything. But overall, it's entertaining. I've enjoyed both episodes. Fear the Walking Dead is exciting. It's intense. There's great moments in it. But to me, it's just so far-fetched that Morgan is like dying. But he still can put up a fight against so many walkers and Headhunter who should have just taken him out. But, this is The Walking Dead, so we'll see where it goes there. But thank you guys for being here. I went a little over. Sorry for the delay early on. I was a couple minutes late. But thank you for the super chats, everybody. I appreciate it. Christian says, can you read my comment, please? Let's see. Who will win in a fight, Morgan or Beta? Well, Beta is gone. So Morgan would, for sure. But the way they're making Morgan plot armor, or he'll never die, I guess Morgan would. So I think, but if they were both in their prime, I guess I got to go Morgan, just because that's what they do on the show with the character. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I'll be posting my reviews tonight of both episodes, Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 1, and Season 1, Episode 2 of World Beyond. So I don't have a link to watch Fear. Sorry, I don't have a link for that. But just a discussion for that, breakdown for that. Thank you guys. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about the live streams for Fear the Walking Dead Season 1, Episode 2. We'll probably talk about the premiere a little bit too, and also World Beyond Season 1, Episode 3. So thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate it. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, blocking out the haters, staying true to yourself, and doing what you love. Believe in yourself. You can do it no matter what it is, guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you next week, guys. Enjoy tonight's episodes. See you later.